watch that little bit of a time lapse. It shows you us just setting out the job that we're currently doing. And this is a bit of a, should we call it an infill job?
Infill, yeah.
Because if you've been following the channel, we are currently waiting for the kitchen to be delivered at our extension build. We are waiting for the electrician to do first fix and plumber to do first fix at the garage conversion. So this is a bit of an infill for 4 days or so. It's bank holiday at the end of this week, so we've got another day off as well for that. So there we are. So Luke is going to talk you through what we're doing. So what we got? What we got size we got? What we're doing? What's happening?
5.5
Yep.
by 5.5 patio.
Okay.
And then we're going to put some sleepers all the way around here.
Okay.
And along there.
We're going around that tree, aren't we?
Yeah.
Sleepers around the tree. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're going to infill that with some nice Indian sandstone.
Indian sandstone.
In a nice grey.
And you say it's the like 3 different types.
There's
is
4.
that the one that's 4?
4 in this
so is that the one
yeah.
where it's a 600, 600?
Yeah.
600, 300?
Yeah. 600 by 900.
6 by 9, and there's a 3 by 3 as well.
Square.
And you get a pattern, don't you, to put it all together?
Yeah.
To make it go right, so you haven't got to do cuts.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That'd be nice.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah. We're going to put a row to the edges of the sleepers as well, isn't we? For a nice. Yeah.
Luke's going to allow me to. So you'll know, again, if you follow the channel, the bit of Mickey take that we're having because Luke keeps attempting to do carpentry when I should be doing that. But on this one, he said to me this morning, he said, I'm going to let you cut the sleepers and you can even row to the edges of the sleepers, which I'm really excited about.
If I could say to you how his face lit up when I mentioned the router and stuff like that, I thought...
It's pretty sad really, but there we go.
Should we dovetail the joints?
Let's not
Okay,
go that far.
Okay.
First job then, Luke, what are we doing first?
So we're going to lift up the old slabs.
Okay.
And then start digging all the grass off.
Yeah, because you should always do the grass off, shouldn't you?
Yes, because it gives off gas.
Yeah.
If you
because I know years and years ago you used to say, oh, what we'll do, we'll just turn it over and put it face down, but it gives off a gas. So you should dig the grass off.
Yeah, dig the grass off.
Will the grab take the grass?
Yes.
They will take the grass.
Yes, if
okay.
It's got to be like below a certain percentage, but they will take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good then.
Yeah.
So we'll get all this up, put it in a grab, because we're having a grab, because a grab where we are currently, where are we? April 25. A grab is how much we pay for it?
220.
220. And a skip is now 320 something.
Yeah, 330.
It's the cheapest you can find for a builder skip, 8-yarder, 325, including VAT, obviously. Ridiculous. But there we are. Should we start doing something?
Yeah.
Come on then. Right then, that's our first day done. We've gauged ourselves down. This is now underneath the, what was it again? 20mm slab, 40mm
yeah.
compo bed,
Yeah.
100mm hardcore.
Yeah.
So that's that level now. We have then gone round with a shovel and gone down a further, well, depending where you dip it to, enough to get, what you're going to put in there, 100mm of concrete.
I've just allowed 50.
50mm of concrete in there, just to bed the sleepers on. And then we'll haunch it
it up
to keep it all in place against the side of the grass. That's what we'll do. all the way around. Maybe a bit more difficult over there because the ground's really dry. And there is, believe it or not, another slab of concrete under that. I think it's that slab there, which is probably the first thing that went down when they did this house, because I believe this was originally a garage. Is that right?
Yes, it was a garage, yeah.
Originally a garage.
Yeah.
So that'll be like the old sort of slab area, I suppose, the concrete footing area, and concrete patio area, sorry. So what we're going to do tomorrow, when we buy waiting for the materials, is we'll dig this out and we'll get our proper connection on that, and then get that set for our ACOs. And then we're ready to go. We'll break that bit of slab out there, where that slab goes across. There's no point taking a row of them big 3x2 slabs out, because I think nothing's better than that anyway, is it, for hardcore? There's no point smashing them out. You would have seen us get the ones out of here, the old-fashioned 3x2 by 2 inch, so that's 3 foot by 2 foot by 2 inch slabs, weigh a ton, don't they?
Yeah, foil.
An absolute ton. So we had to get that out, which is what's then caused us to then use some of the dirt to put back in, because there was that much gone down with the makeup of 3 or 4 different slabs in there.
Yeah, there were everything.
There were 3 or 4 different make up a slab on this. So over the years, I've obviously built the patio up. We decided to put an ACO in. I mentioned ACO then. We decided to put ACO in because we're a little bit concerned. You can see where the damp proof has gone in there, the DPC level. The DPC level is sort of there. There, look. You can see the picture. But I'm just concerned about that brickwork across there, because that looks like another DPC level. I don't know. So we were a bit concerned about the transfer damp. Hence, we're going to come to, where are we coming to with our slabs? Is it that?
It's that
we're going to come to that course there.
Yeah.
So we'll put an ACO in. Now, if you're not aware, and I've been told this by several building inspectors now, if you're coming above your 150 below damp, so you should, with any patio, be 150 below DPC level. If you put an ACO in, you can go above that level, because you haven't got to transfer damp then from the ground into your, almost to your floor level, have you? Because you've got an ACO. So you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to sort of bridge your DPC, if you like, if you've got an ACO in place, is what I've been told by his building inspectors. If this is incorrect, then put it in the comments, but I've been told by several building inspectors now, that's what you can do. So that's what we're going to do here, isn't it?
Yep.
Because our grass level's quite high over there. So we're going to put the sleepers in. Sleepers will be set to the same height as the slabs,
yep.
So there's no trip hazard. Which means we're on that course of bricks there, which may mean that little corner there goes up and down like that. So you may have to scalp that off. And there's a bit of a dip there anyway, just there, that you can't see on camera, and that drops down quite a lot. So a little bit of topsoil to make it up back round again, to get it all level, I think is the key there. So we're happy with that, aren't we? We've had a bit of a sweep up, got the gear together. The weather's held off nice for us today, which is lovely. It's meant to rain, which it didn't, which is great. But you can certainly tell we've had no rain for 2 or 3 weeks now, I reckon.
Yeah, the ground's
this was
dry,
so dry and that hard to get up. The mattocks was bouncing off this dirt here. But there we are, happy with that. Ready for stone, aren't we?
Yep.
We've now got to get 6 ton of
alloys,
hardcore.
isn't it, Grouting?
We've got to come through here with all the stuff. There we are then, not to worry.
This is no steps.
This is no steps.
Yeah.
And again, we reference that, because if you haven't seen that series, it's on in the end screen. If you haven't seen that, this is the last garden we did, and it was a mare. Body was aching by the end of that one. Have a look at that one, it's interesting. Right then, we're going to go off, and we'll see you in the morning. So we started our day noisy, breaking out the old drain and then cutting the clay pipe, ready to put our fitting on there like that. So our clay to plastic, that'll go on there, nice and tidy, and then we'll run our pipe up there then to connect our ACO drain to, and then that'll be concreted all across here to meet up to the sleepers that I'm about to do. I've had a really busy day today. Oh, you're right now.
I was eating again. Just down it on camera again.
So Luke's just been mixing up some concrete. We've just stopped for something to eat. Mix some concrete up. to allow me to bed the ACOs on and allow me to spot bed the sleepers on as I cut them for now. We'll be using these screws on the screen to fix it all together, all the corners, and then also using these big hefty brackets to fix it to the wall and in the corners as well, just to make sure it's all solid. So we're going to get on with that, aren't we?
Yep.
That's it then. So a very quick time lapse then. All we've done now, Luke has put the pipework in for the ACO drain. What we're going to do now, or what we have done now, is we've used the laser to dip the top of that now, which is the connector for the ACO drains, and then marked on here. You would have seen me on my hands and knees down there, look, marking a black line, if you can see it in the shadow on there, and the same over there, to make sure we get our exact height that we want. Now, I want to take this opportunity to thank Hoopar, who have very kindly sent me this laser you can see on the screen, and it is a SO4CG/CR. It's basically a kit, comes with the this lovely little bracket that goes up and down on your tripod, left to right, very good for fine adjustment, and it comes with a receiver, which you can see over there. What we thought we'd do is we'd give it a bit of a test along with our regular laser that we've been using for outside works. Hoopar got in contact with me and they've actually sent me 2 lasers. I told them what we do as a channel in terms of we do this kind of stuff, external stuff, and we do stuff like kitchens. So they've sent me one which I've actually already got and I've had for about 3 years now, and I'm really happy with it. I bought this pole kit myself when I bought my other laser, and it comes with this tripod, and like I say, it comes with this. It comes in a nice bag. Wherever I put that, I'll put it here somewhere. And it comes with separate poles, and I think there are 4 of these yellow poles which are set at 600. And oh, there it is. Look, there's 4 poles that are set at 600, and there's this pole you saw there it's got a spring-loaded top to clamp to the ceiling, and also comes with a bracket, and also comes with that foot on the bottom there. This tripod that came with this new laser from Hoopar actually screws straight on top of that pole there, look. And you can set that as high as you want it to, but you wouldn't really want it any higher than that, I don't think. There's no real need at all. But if you do, then as I say, if you use it for kitchens, you want to set your top cupboards, you just put the pole, fix it to the ceiling, and run that bracket then up and down the pole. So it's ideal. So thank you very much to them. We're going to go through, use this on this job, and then see how we get on with it, and give you our thoughts at the end of the video. So thank you to Hoopar.
Yep. And then you're going to mention the competition? Or was that later on? You're going to surprise me?
Oh, I think I might mention the competition later on in the video, I think.
Lovely.
But in short, you get a free laser. So stay tuned. I'll mention it at the end. We're finished then. Timber's done. We're finished. Timber's done. Our cows are set. We had a bit of a faff with this because, and we're going to have to say something, I think, to our contact at where we get our stuff from at MKM. These sleepers were bananas. As you can see, we've had to put pins in. We've had to sacrifice pins that are underneath here as well, cut them down. In fact, you can just about see the top of one there, look. We've had to knock the pins in, and one there as well, to bend them over. In that corner there, you can see on the screen now, I put a bracket in the corner, a big chunky bracket, and fixed it in with hex head coach screws as well, just to make sure that corner doesn't move. And we've had to force all this over using bars and things, and then pack it back and front to try and get a good line across here. So that took some time. We've been round and backed most of these up as well. Obviously we've got hardcore to go against this as well. We fixed all the corners external with 3 of the those big screws. I think they're called wafer head. I think they're called a wafer head screw, and they're just big enough, we think, for the job. This is the ones we've used. Look, yeah, wafer head, a specialist timber screw, wafer head, corrosion resistant, coated high grade steel, and therefore this are classed as a structural screw. Our covers have all been set. We're really happy with that. That gives us our perfect line now, and it all worked out back to level again to there, which we're pleased with. We have fixed our sleepers together like that, just by flat bit first to give ourselves a wafer head sort of size hole, if you like, to sort of countersink it, and then skew screw them straight in, and we're happy with that. Luke's gone around now and just flattening all this off before we get the stone in and start getting this prepped for slabbing, which we aren't far away now. There's 6 ton of stone sat on the drive out there for us to maul in by hand tomorrow, which we're looking forward to, aren't we? Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
What's that, get that stone in?
Getting the stone in tomorrow.
Yeah, I love it, really.
Yes, I can't think of anything more. I'm going to go to sleep tonight that excited about tomorrow.
Yeah.
The anticipation of the body ache tomorrow night, I just can't wait. Straight on it this morning, straight in with the stone and get it all whackered. It took us about an hour, which we're really pleased about. We've got a little bit of stone left out the front, so we're just dipping it now. And what Luke's doing is pulling his string line, because we know these are dipped to line, to laser across, and then he's just dip it then to make sure we got 60mm, which is the 20mm stone and the 40mm compound bed, which we require on this one. I say require, which we would like. Now, I've got to tell you something. We were just talking about the delivery of the kitchen at our extension job, and I said, hang on, how many days in April? Let's work the dates out. And he went, and he showed me something. Show me. Show me again. So this is how we worked it out. Look.
So put your knuckles like that.
Yeah.
And you got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August.
So where it drops in between your knuckles is the 30 days?
Yeah, that's the short.
Or the short months, sorry.
Yeah.
So like February would be the 28th or 29th. I didn't know that.
Yeah, taught you something every day.
50 years of my life and I've just learnt something that I've never known, and you probably learnt that at
My
school.
nan told me that.
Your nan told you
Yeah,
it?
I'm sure she did.
Well, there we go then. There we go then. That's the term every day is a school day. That's what I've learnt today, if nothing else. Excellent. So we've completed our string line dipping all the way across. We only have to take a little bit of stone off in certain places to maintain our 60mm as consistently as we can. We've then gone over the whacker again, and at this point I need to point out that I'm sorry about the wind. I haven't got my my little muffler on, look, this little thing. So I'm hoping that it doesn't seem the sound isn't too bad. But I appreciate your feedback that I've had already about the sound. I'm trying to do something about that, and I may look into buying some more microphones if it continues. So thank you for that. We have now got ourselves all set up. Mixing here is a 5 and
Pretty much 5 and 1.
5 and 1 sharp sand, one cement.
Yeah, building sand.
But so you've done 2.5? No, 2.5 sharp sand.
2.5 building.
2.5 building sand.
And 1 cement.
And 1 cement. Okay, there we are. And that is just our SBR mixed with cement. Just in there, neat, chucked it in there, and then we'll just put that on the back of every slab as we go. As you can see, these are our 4 sizes: 9 by 600, 3 by 600, 300 by 300, 600 by 600. And these go together in a pattern which you can get on from most sites, can't you know?
Yeah, just go online, say Google Indian sandstone block paving patterns.
Indian, did you hear that? Indian sandstone block paving patterns. And this is the back of the slab, by the way. This is the front of the slab. And you can see it's like a ribbon edge. So quite a nice texture. 20mm thick, as you can see, which is why we've allowed 60mm, so there's a 40mm bed under it. And we'll get our pattern out now. Luke is set, so I'll just continue as we done the last slabbing job. As he's going, I'll get these primed ready for him, pass him over, and then continue mixing out the front and bringing it, filling the buckets for the barrows. So there we are. We can get on with that now, can't we?
Yeah. Are you going to mention competition, yes or no?
Okay, let's mention the competition. Okay, so here's the competition, and it's to win the laser you can see on the screen now, along with the model number. This is the other laser that Hoopar sent me. However, this is the one that I've already got, that I've had for 2.5, 3 years, something like that. You'll win this. UK mainland. I can't go outside because it's going to cost a fortune to post, isn't it? But I'll say UK mainland. So the question is, how many slabs have we used in total on this job? Now I don't mean if there's like a half there and a half there, that's 1. I just mean whatever it is you can see. So forget halves, it counts as 1. How many in total slabs have we used on this job? And we're going to let it run for
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Let it run for 2 weeks from the date you can see on screen now, because that'll be when the date this video goes out. That's only fair that if you've watched it in a month later, you obviously can't enter. So there we are. So this is for the people that follow the channel a lot, really, and watch every video as it comes out, which we really appreciate, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
So thank you to you guys and girls out there that do that. So I hope you enjoy this episode, or have done so far, and good luck on the competition. Well, we thought we'd stop the time lapse just to show you an issue we've come across, and it's an issue that you could come across for 2 or 3 different reasons, but here's the reasons that we've come across it. We've 3, 4, 5 this, so 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, and we couldn't have been any better, bang on. However, what we didn't do, and that's completely my fault, is, and if you can see it on the camera there, but in the middle of the screen is round about where the 5 foot is, and because of the shape of these sleepers that I talked about earlier on, now this is they say workman always blames his tools and all that, I'm just telling you what you can come across. I'd accept the fact that this has happened. So with 3, 4, 5 and it was bang on, so we started our corner here, started this way, but because this has crept in, I've just done 6, 8, 10 to understand why, and with 3/4 of an inch, so we've come in, we've managed to creep in this way 3/4 of an inch, and therefore what it's done is, you can see that now, we're going to have to cut that slab about 20 mil, about 20 mil, a little bit, to sort of 30 mil to the side. So that's what we've done. So this is just us telling you the problems we've had, so you can double check, treble check, quadruple check it. But why not? We might show you our mistakes as much as we'd like to show you how we do things. And I'll show you more in a minute about how it looks to set his compound beds out and show you the SBR and everything else. We'll show you that in a second. The main factor is how you get over it. Now, all he'll do, he'll cut that one there now. And what we've done then is we've set up a line here then to pull that line all the way through. And then we'll use that as a reference then to measure off. So when he puts a big one in, if he knows there's a next one, a little one next to it, he knows he's going to have roughly 600, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's 900 there, that's 300 there. So he just needs to measure that there, look, that 600, to make sure he's right on his cuts then. And he can lose his cuts back into that corner again. One of the other reasons is you are using a natural product, and these aren't square. You can see, where was that one that I put down? You can see that it was completely etched. I think it was this one here. And it doesn't matter what you did, you got this lovely, and this is at the point where it's square, because 5 foot's about here. You can't get it. It's not always going to give you a square cut, because the slabs aren't 100% square, because they're not cut concrete. These are unnatural stone. So there we are. No excuses there. We're just showing you what we've just faced, and then we're going to get over it. So that's that. Anything to say on that, Luke?
No, you're pretty bang on there, mate. Yeah, going to work off those lines, aren't we? But because with some of the slabs as well, we're going to. You break the pattern, we'll work it and cut them.
Yeah, because it's not a run of slabs that way all the time, because you turn them and there's a 900 goes that way, and you break your pattern a little bit. Because you probably go back to this pattern now, where that big one then turns and goes over there, and you start your pattern again. Because even though it's a random pattern, it does sort of start to look the same when you start to move across a big patio. You'll start to see sort of this pattern again, where there's a 300, a 600, a 900, and it might end up the same pattern starting that way over their way. So there we are. That's what we're doing then, isn't it? While we're on then, let's just talk about quickly. Set your slabs out. They would have seen you put the compound bed down.
Yep.
So you put your full compound bed down, giving yourself 10 mil above where you think the bottom of the slab's going to be.
Yeah.
And then you drag your grooves out of it, like that, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Just to allow that when you knock your slab, all the excess compound then drops into those grooves to give you. So if you don't do that, you know what? Let's just show you. Just took the slab up and cut it, and all I did was just sort of cut through it and just sort of wiggle his blade a little bit so it's not a lovely crisp edge, and that you'll lose that once you've grout it anyway. So there we are. Tripping over my own string line I've just put down. So we're going to start again with this one now, because we've took that slab back up. So you put your full bed down.
Yep.
As we said, so it's about 10 mil,
yeah,
5 mil above where you think it's going to be, and then. Obviously, if you try and bang your slab on top of that now, it's going to do one or two things. It won't move, or it'll just get that solid. It won't be able to get level. So you need somewhere for the excess compound to go, and you need to put excess compound on the top. Because if you don't, you can't tap it down and bed it in the compound properly. Take it from around your edges, like he's doing there.
Yep, like so.
Stops it then clagging up the. That's a technical word, clagging the joint. So when you come to point it, you don't end up with compound in your joint. And then just drags a few grooves in like that. Just to, is that what part of your training do you learn that, Luke? Is that like,
second year?
Second year.
Advanced this year.
Second year advanced, right,
yes.
Okay, yeah. Because it looks like quite a technical thing to do, that does really.
It does,
Does, man, yeah.
Not anybody can do it, you know.
Well, if everyone could do it, then you know we wouldn't need anyone to do it professionally, would we? I suppose.
Of course not.
So there we are. Looks like a row of Kit Kats. Ooh, talking of Kit Kat. Yes. Chunky Kit Kat. Just wetting up the SBR again because it's best to put the SBR on, which we've already talked about this. It's just cement mixed with SBR, and then we put a little bit of water in just to stop it being so. Again, I'm using the words claggy, quite thick. We don't. It's too thick. So we just got some water there just to mix with it, just to wet it up again, and then it's always best to put that on wet on top of there. So once we've done that, we just stick it on top of there, give it a bit of a tap, and then he'll measure that then from his line to get him sort of self-parallel again off the joint line over there. So we know it's all going to come back in line again, is the plan. So we're straight back at it this morning, and quite the change in the weather. It's not as cold, and there's certainly not that horrible wind that was yesterday. So looking good for our what will be maybe our final day. Maybe back for another hour once this is all dry, just to brush all the grouting. What's the grout called that we're using? What is it? I know it's a brushing grout, but what is it?
Pro-Tech.
A Pro-Tech.
Pro-Tech, yeah, like brushing grout.
And is that like a powder type thing,
It's
or?
like a resin base that activates sort of with water. So when you wet the patio,
Yeah.
you'll wet this all out, brush it all in, compact it a bit with either a pointer or a gagger or something like that.
Okay.
And then, and then once it dries, it just goes rock hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we do it flush with the top of this, or just down a little bit, or?
It's once you brush it out, it's like slightly down, and especially when you put like what do you call it, the gagger over it as well. It just gives it that bit of a domed.
Right.
sort of
Okay.
finish
Yeah.
and
With
stuff,
you.
but
With
yeah,
you.
It'll look lovely.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, I'm looking forward to that then.
Yeah.
So we'll stick a bit more footage on for you of Luke cracking on with this, and I'll run backwards and forwards as I have been, making sure there's enough compo, and get some more slabs in, and hopefully we'll have another good day today. back at the patio today with Luke, and the last final hour or so, Luke,
I think so.
just to get it swept up, tidied, get any bits of high compo in the joints, if there's a bit of compo that's spread to the front, to the face, and then get ready for the brushing grout. So this is the stuff that Luke was talking about. This is the stuff we're using. Joint Tech.
Yep.
And it does exactly what it says there, look. You just brush it in. So you say you're going to wet it first?
Yes, wet it first.
Brush it in. And then point it up.
Yeah.
Pointing trail, gagger type thing.
And it's as simple as that, yeah. Yeah, it works quite well with the quite wet because it, I think that activates, there's something to do with the resin or something in there, I believe.
Right.
So, but yeah, if you want to...
So you have to sort of spray it all first, pretty much wet it down and then put it on.
And then, yeah.
Which normally you have to do it if it was dry. So if it was, you could do this in the rain then, I suppose.
Oh, it's better to do it in the rain.
Yeah. But we don't want to wish for that though. We've got lovely sunshine. A bit cold again, but lovely sunshine. So when I left Luke to it on last time we were here, last time I was here, we got this little area to do, but it was my son's birthday on Friday, so I had the day off to spend the day with him and the family. Luke came and did that. So now we're back to have our last tidy up, aren't we?
We are.
And then do the grouting. So we'll get ourselves prepped, last sweep up, and then we'll, when we get this out, we'll show you what we're doing with it, but it's as simple as getting a brush and brushing it in.
It's really fast. It is.
Yeah, so there we are then.
Yeah.
We might not put it on time lapse if it's that fast. Whilst Luke finishes off the sweeping, I thought I'd give you a last talk through about our laser. This is it in the box, in the kit that you get with this one, which is that one there, look. And there's a couple of things I wanted to point out. Now you get all this in the box, so you get the batteries for your receiver, you get your one battery for your rechargeable battery, which is always good. Now we've been using this for 4 days on and off, and the battery hasn't gone yet. What you also get is this, which is an adapter to put 4 batteries in it, which you do get in the pack as well. So if this does run out, you can either buy yourself another one of these, or you have got this bit of a 4 AA battery backup, which is good. And this will come to the kit. What I haven't gone through with you, and I won't do it now, is there's a remote. Bit of a gimmick for me, that is, so I won't bother with that one. Now we did talk about, oh yes, one final thing. I did look at this, the user manual over the weekend, and you can actually set this as well to manual mode. So if you're doing tiling, for example, on a slope, or I don't know, you maybe, when we did the last garden, do you remember we put the bricks at a slope? You could set the laser to it, which is good. And that's just bright, as you can see on screen now, you just press and hold what is the Bluetooth button for a couple of seconds. It comes on, and then you can actually set an axis, a Y and X axis. You know, a bit technical really, but you don't know to know that. You just need to set it to whatever you want to set it to. Unless, of course, you've got a certain pitch or degree you want to set to. That'd be good. So if that's what you need a laser for, you can get this one. Very good. Link in the description to the website. I've also spoke to Hoopar to find out if they want to give us a bit of a discount code. So hopefully, if they have accepted that idea, that'll be in the description as well. So there we are. Let's get on with this grouted, shall we? So what, now we've pretty much got there. We've used 3 bags, haven't we?
Yep.
And what's anything in particular that you do? I mean, I know the instructions on the back of the tub, but...
So basically, just obviously wet it really, wet up to start with, yeah. That's to really push it in, and then like as you can see now, it's like sort of dried off a bit.
Yeah.
So I've been over it with me gagging pointer.
Yeah.
And my gagger, just to really press any more of the joints in, and then basically when it sort of gets to this a little bit dry like this now, basically just going back all over the joints.
Where it might be a bit low.
Yeah.
You've done that one, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's dropped a little bit there, so we'll go back over that one and point it again.
And just basically until you're happy that everything's full.
The joints are full. So keep
Yeah.
it in
Yeah.
until the joints are full.
Yeah. And then
We've
what?
got a good sort of bit there left there to sweep over,
And then basically sweep it into a pile, put it back into a tub, and submerge it with water, and that'll keep it usable for so long. So if you do find any areas that you want to go over again, you can still reuse it then.
Right, okay.
So, which is quite handy to do.
End of the video, and typically gardens turn up next door and started using the strimmer, so it's quite noisy now, so I hope you can hear me all right. So we continue with the process of just sweeping it off, and you can see now all we did then was, or Luke did then was, very gently brush it diagonal so he's not going level with the joints or parallel to the joints, just to get the excess off. And as we talked about, we've then put the excess in a bucket of water, and we'll keep that. And then if there's any areas that maybe have sunk a little bit, or we think, oh blimey, we missed that, that's a bit low, we can use that just to point it, get the gadget and repoint it. So we haven't really got much else to say, have we?
No, no.
Came to the slabs, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
We came to the slabs. We know how many there is. We've gone over it again, so we're happy that we have counted it correctly. And it's not as many as you think, really. So good luck with the competition. Don't forget to put your answer to the competition in the comments. I will look through them, and we're going to run for how long?
2 weeks, I think.
2 weeks. So 2 weeks from the air date of this video, which I'll put on the screen in case you've missed it. And it'll close at 5 o'clock, so an hour after the video airs, 2 weeks later. We're going to go for the first 10 comments. So the closest in the first 10 comments I think would be easier, wouldn't it?
Okay.
Not the first, because you could say X and it could be within 5 or whatever. So we'll go for the closest or exact within the first 10 comments on the channel, I think would be the best to do. And then we'll send that out to you. Then you can go into the comments or into the description of this video and pick up the email address, and I can contact you, you can send an email to me, and then we'll go from there, and I'll send it out to you. UK mainland only, I'm afraid, but we'll get that laser sent out to you. And what else? Anything else to say? Plenty more to come on the channel.
Yeah, definitely plenty more of that.
We're going now to the garage conversion, now the first fix is done. We can have a look at that now. We've got a building inspector coming to have a chat with them, to give us no advice at all and tell us nothing. Why they're coming I don't know, but there we are. And then we'll be back at the kitchen fitting, won't we?
Yep.
At the extension in about a week and a half now, when that arrives on site. So thank you for watching this one, our little stop gap video, and we will catch you soon.
Good luck, everyone.
Very ignorant of me, and of course, thank you very much for Hoopar for sponsoring this video.